Hi guys, I'm back with more Clanfolk, and I just wanted to give you another tour of the Douglas farm, now with a voiceover, like I promised. And now that some more has transpired and we've kind of developed more. It's been a little while since I've played, so I'm kind of getting myself familiar with the game again. I played the crap out of this game when it first launched, and then I took a few days break, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm just kind of in a Clanfolk daze. Here we have the Douglas family. Yeah, the Douglas family with, this is Elizabeth. So she's the eldest daughter, and we have Catherine and Andrew, who passed away. Andrew was the father, the grandfather. He passed away first, and he had his daughter Elizabeth with Catherine. And so she's the continuing bloodline, and she married Watt, and they had their children. And you know what? I'm not even gonna pretend to pronounce these names. Let's be honest. Um, we're not pronouncing these names correctly. Okay, so we had Marat, Will, Mar. Sometimes we call her Mary. It depends on our mood. Um, we had Magdalene, and actually, why don't I just look in her? We had Magdalene and Duncan. That's the children that we had. So, a little. Where's Duncan? He's going to the bathroom. He's being carried to the bathroom. So he's a baby right now. And she's pregnant again. I love her. She's so fertile. So, yeah, she's the new matriarch of the family. And that's our family tree. So the other people we have here, like George, Abigail, I love her. She's my little hunter. She and he married into the family. So they married and they were workers originally. And I started on a new clan start. So we started with 2 elders, 2 adults, a juvenile, and a baby. And Mar, was that baby. Now she's all grown up. She's had a child of her own, who is Richard. And she's married to Alexander. So, yeah. And so this is almost going to year 4. We're in year 3 of Fall 8, and I started out with just this area right here, if I remember correctly. Now it's been some time since I played. The game has been out for like a month now, as of this recording. So I believe I started like with just this area right here, and then I added on to it. And this originally, this is where we used to have our guest beds. Something that I do in the beginning is I don't create bedrooms. I just let them all sleep in like close quartered housing. So we used to have beds in here, and I expanded into here. We used to have more beds in here. They were up against the walls right here. So, and then I expanded into the barn, and we had a much smaller barn. Yes, that is coming. And then I expanded over into this area, which is my favorite area, which is the kitchen. And yes, I know that they get more environment from the upgraded fancy tiles, fancy tile floors, but I just really like the look of the brick floors so much, and I think it really suits a kitchen area. So I associate all of my kitchen areas with the brick floors. So That's what I laid down first, as those brick floors. And I know the game's a little dark. I do apologize for that. That's just how the game is. Whoop, or scrolling all the way out here. Actually, I'll show you that now. So here's an overview of my overall settlement. I call it my little town, farm, village. And we have a hay roof because I haven't upgraded all of this yet. We have a hay roof for our first big building, our initial big building. And we have hay roofs for the first bedrooms. We eventually upgraded to tile roofs for the second barn and for the second pantry, as well as for the workshop. And we went to wood roofs for the new bedrooms. And we went to stone roofs for the second kitchen. Yes, this place has it all. So, zooming back in, I like how it's kind of a mixed media feel. That you kind of have a mixed media, and you can see how this place really grew and developed as time went on. So zooming back in, we have the kitchen, and on here we have the master bedrooms. See, these each have their own bathtub, and yes, a public toilet. They do get embarrassed about going publicly to the bathroom, but I honestly find that they're so happy on this map that it isn't a big debuff for me. I'm not worried about it too much. So eventually I'm going to upgrade it and wall this off in a 1x1 room where they can have their own private poop space, because I later on did that. But for now, I just had them poop publicly. So, and they even have a water dipper. And we have these stone fireplaces. What I did here is I turned auto build off, because you want auto build off so that they're not going and automatically building any of the food items that you have queued up on auto supply. Okay, so I also have these turned off because it just, winter is, and right now I'm being cheap. Winter is not upon us yet. I have some of these turned off. I had all of them turned off during the summer because I didn't want them using this for lighting. I didn't want them using up the branches during summer. So I turned some of these off where I had extra stone fireplaces where I didn't want them use it, because the AI will sometimes use stone fireplaces where you don't want them to if it's available to light. They do like to try to get them lit, especially as fall creeps in. So they do like to keep those lit if you have enough repair people around in the living areas. So I just simply put stop on that. It takes care of that problem, and I manage it. I micromanage it myself. I have vents here. So this stays a cool, I'm playing in Fahrenheit now. I do apologize for all of you Celsius users. It stays a cool 71 degrees right now in all of these rooms. You know, room temperature. It's a good, comfortable room temperature. So right now I just don't need to run those fireplaces. And I have branch piles next to them where I have the first 1 or 2 spaces available. That's it. And the rest of them are blocked off so that they don't pile all of their branches there, but they still have a pile of branches available with which to fuel the stone fireplaces, and they don't have to go too far. Okay, and we have our clothing baskets and all that. So in the barn, I have our haystacks. I have a grain pallet to stock the grain troughs. You know, just typical stuff, you know, our wardrobe and our, I really could sort out these I don't like these workspaces so much. We have so much poop let me tell you, all these gong places, I don't need all of them. But I like to collect it. I do. Let me tell you. And so going over here, let me give you an explanation for why these bedrooms look different. So you can see that we have a straw curtain right here, and this is just for aesthetics. This is just for looks. I like the look of it. We have a wall here to block off the villagers don't like to see the light, but they like the warmth from the fireplace when they're sleeping. So this keeps the light from getting to them, and they don't get disrupted when they're sleeping. However, babies are usually born with the afraid of the dark debuff or malice or attribute. It's an attribute, I would say. So they want a light on them when they're sleeping. So that's why I keep the nurseries open like this, so that the light can flow on them. And I have another nursery over here where I'm going to deconstruct the straw curtain, and then they can have the light flowing on them. And see, this one is already has direct line of sight. So just basic stuff like that. This game is actually pretty in-depth and has mechanics like that. Just if it seems realistic, then you know you can probably do it. So speaking of which, another thing with that, here is our first freezer, the infamous first freezer. So what I did was, this is a mountain roof, and I added a little bit of hay eventually too, but I just dug into here, and I didn't put a door on in winter, and I just put some water jugs here, and I put up my pantry shelves, and I let these jug pallets freeze. Once they became frozen, I eventually put the straw door on here, and because of this mountain roof, it stays nice and cool in here. It's staying 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is -5 Celsius, I think. Again, sorry, Celsius users. So same concept in our second freezer, except now we're not using a mountain roof. We're using our own roof. So we need to utilize more jug pallets because the mountain roof has a cooling effect where we don't need as many jug pallets, but over here we need more, and we utilize the winter to cool them down. So we just put more in here, and it keeps it at the same temperature all year round. So it keeps all of our stuff cool, and nothing really ever spoils in here. So even during the summer, it's 20 degrees in here. So then we have our new bedrooms, new-ish. We have another nursery should we need it. I just kind of threw bedrooms, or beds rather. I just kind of threw beds in here because we ended up getting so many travelers. These people love us. They can't get enough of us. I don't know. I got a little carried away. I got 5 stars with pretty much everyone except for McDougal, and I don't know. I thought I was going to keep it nice and contained, but look, there's stuff on the floor, there's dirt, there's blood, it looks pretty from the outside, but it's not really. Times were tough in 1300 Scotland. So, you know, again, oh, these are not blocked off, actually. Shame on me. See? There's so many wasted branches there. See? See, that's why you need to pay attention. So, anyway. We have more bedrooms over here, and I just kind of threw beds in there as needed for travelers. They prefer, I prefer having them have the private bedroom buff so their satisfaction gets increased. But obviously I don't have that now. They're bunking together. And I'm missing a tile floor there. Really fancy tile floor. Thank you. Okay. So coming over here, we have our second kitchen, which I just needed to upgrade because I don't know, I love the kitchen area so much. Oh, this is our public toilets also. I guess I could comment on that. Our kitchen area. So we have our flute rack. I don't know, I recommend having enough flutes for everyone. Butter churn and cheese press are not really balanced right now as of this video. They are not that very useful food items. Stew is really great. You're going to want to make a lot of stew right now. So this is a good layout to have your dish rack and dishwasher in. They will come over and cook this food, and they will place it onto your serving table. Ideally, with pretty if they don't place it directly onto there, then the haulers will come and place it onto there eventually. And then they'll eat from the serving table. If they don't finish it up, then they'll place it back on the serving table. And then they'll take their dirty dishes and place it onto the dish rack. Once their dirty dishes are on the dish rack, then the dishwasher will take them from the dish rack, wash them, place them back in the dish rack, clean dishes. And then the clean dishes get taken by the kitchen to be used again. The cycle of dishes. So yeah, that's how you should have your system right there, is that little triangle. And we have a nice public spa, is what I like to call it, right here. I just had space here, so I upgraded it into a little toilet, little Terlet. So right here we have the luxury bedrooms. This is what I was talking about with the 1x1 space. Really, I wanted to upgrade it to a 2x1 space because what happens is that they will fill up the, I want to say canteen. It's not a canteen. It is not a canteen, Gina. It is the chamber pot. They'll fill up the chamber pot and they'll stick it into their bedroom, and they'll get the stinky malice that they have a full chamber pot in their bedroom, and they'll get mad about it. So I want to upgrade this to 2x1 and put a stockpile there only for chamber pots and have it stuck in the toilet room with them, so they're only distracted by the stinky malice when they're in that space, you know what I'm saying? So they don't constantly have the stinky malice when they're in their bedroom. So that's what I want to do there. Otherwise, same story as before. We got our curtains, we got our branch pile, we got a flammable blocker, we got our water dipper and our bathtub. And yeah, so here's our orchard. We got some storage over here, and actually that's our, can you call it an orchard if it's bushes, berry bushes? Right now it's looking kind of bad because it's fall. Here's our actual orchard. Everything got chopped down and I forgot to replant it in time. Here's our workshop. We have our timbery right beside our plank stack, right beside our bark bin, right beside our mini log piles, and we go through those. And we have a kiln right beside our masonry places. And yeah, so going to the animals, I had a no-kill policy for the longest time. And okay, so that couldn't last forever. I was where the animals came to rest and live out the rest of their lives when they died of old age, and then I ate them. But dreams can't last forever, I guess, because we ran out of beds and I refused to build a third barn. That's just way too much. So we had a mass slaughter, and we're still going through a mass slaughter because, man, look at, oh, you can hear it too. You can just hear all those wet, poopy footsteps. So, yeah, this is what I'm dealing with. These are all of the animals that I have raised. So, yeah, so that's the farm tour. Oh, and just one more thing. There's rooster slaughtered. There's a little, I'm gonna make a fishing shack up here. I got this idea from someone else on the Discord. I'm gonna make a fishing shack up here eventually. So yeah, I just, fishing is not that great of a food source right now. So don't rely on it, but I just like it for aesthetics and roleplay reasons. So kill your animals, slaughter them, and don't let them grow out of control like this, because I had enough hay to feed them, but oh boy, I have so much poop and I just don't know what to do. So that was the Douglas farm tour. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Bye.